Michael, Sarah, and Arla. Thanks so much. I want to turn now to the former Director of National Intelligence, James Clapper. He's now a CNN national security analyst. Director Clapper, thank you very much. A lot to discuss with you. But first off, let's talk about the new satellite images showing a Russian convoy that is more than 40 miles long. It has reached the outskirts of Kyiv. Also tonight, lawmakers during a classified briefing were given what's being called an alarming timeline for when Ukrainian cities could fall. Are you worried Putin is about to ramp up this invasion?
Well, yeah, I mean, I think that's pretty much a conventional wisdom here that because the initial attack I guess his hope was shock and awe would intimidate the Ukrainians and cause them just to fold and give up and go home. Well, obviously that hadn't been the case. And you got to imagine that the frustration on Putin's part is really built up. Here we're going into the 6th day of this thing. And so it's pretty evident that what the Russians will do is just put more resource on it. You know, looking at that, the imagery of that convoy, I couldn't help but drool a bit and imagine what a couple of Air Force A-10 squadrons could do to that convoy. They don't display very good convoy discipline by having all those vehicles, bunched up like that. It makes for a great target. So, but I am concerned about just putting more resources and cutting off Kyiv, which is the primary target, the primary center of gravity, to use the military term, for the Russians. And their original plan, of course, was to capture Kyiv, and specifically key government buildings, media outlets, telecommunications, etc., and then have the government capitulate and they install a puppet. Well, things haven't gone according to plan. One other comment real quickly on the length of time that it will take for Kyiv to fall. Well, one intangible that nobody can measure is will to fight. And we've seen a resolute will to fight on the part of the Ukrainians and not so much on the part of the Russians. So I think the prognostications on how long Kyiv can hold out are on the conservative side, and I think it'll be longer than short.
Interesting. Let's talk a little bit more about, because you mentioned, what a target that would be. U.S. officials say enforcing a no-fly zone over Ukraine is currently off the table. Can you explain why a no-fly zone is such a contentious issue? Would it be seen as a big provocation?
Well, yeah, it would be. And of course, I mean, this is consistent with the president's statement, his policy that there'll be no U.S. troops, on the ground in Ukraine, and that extends to the air. I think if we're going to do a no-fly zone, and boy, I'd love to do that. The time has kind of come and gone for that. It would have been good before hostilities started. And mounting a no-fly zone is not a trivial undertaking. A huge resource drain, lots of coordination with the ground, air defense forces of Ukrainians, and of course it puts us in a position of direct confrontation with the Russians, which the policy's been thus far not to do that.
Director Clapper, thank you, sir. I appreciate it.